Hey y'all, this is Renessa, and I'm dropping a quick audio for you as a bit of pocket coaching. I want to talk about why people don't help you. I had a conversation just last week, and it stuck with me, and I was like, this is why people don't help us when we need help. Exactly what's going on in this conversation. And so I wanted to take some of the learning and send it over to you so that you could begin to think about if you're having trouble getting the support that you need, if people aren't following through for you, if you're struggling at all in that way. First of all, you got to ask for the help. So if you're not asking for the help, that's problem number one. But if you are asking for the help and you're not getting the kind of support that you need, there's really three reasons why people won't help you. And it has nothing to do, rarely is it personal. Let's just say it that way. Rarely is it that this person doesn't like you, or they're out to get you, or, they're jealous, or all of those things are possibilities, but usually that's not the case. So I was having a conversation with a woman, oh gosh, it was about a week or two ago. And it was just a networking conversation. And, typical, how many people typically do their networking. And so I'm sitting there and she's telling me, well, if you know anybody that can do X, or if you know anybody who has Y, that would really be a good client for me, da-da-dee-da-da-da. And so I stopped her and I asked her, I said, why? I said, what, how is the marketplace reacting to your positioning? Like when you tell people what you do they get it? Or do you have to explain, in greater detail what you do for them to really understand? And she said, I have to explain it, sometimes, and, I have to go into greater detail and blah, blah, blah. And so then I began to just support her in that way because I believed in the work that she did. And I could completely connect the dots to the value of what she brought to the marketplace and why the women and the organizations that she wanted to target, why they needed her. But that's my job. I connect the dots. I make it real clear. I'm brilliant at messaging. So I could do that for her, but I could also tell that she didn't connect those dots. I could also tell that she wasn't quite clear why folks needed to hear. And if you hear chimes in the background, it's because I'm in my backyard and there's chimes all around the backyard. So if you hear a little mystic stuff in the background, that's why. But anyway, so I knew that she wasn't clear on that. And so that meant that I didn't feel comfortable making connections and introductions for her because I knew that when she got to my connection, she wouldn't show up well. And so... And I'm real generous with my connections, but I'm also not going to make myself look like a fool, right? And so what I realized is that happens for so many of us. The reason why, and there's really three that are kind of the cornerstone for why people don't help you when you're asking them. First is that you've not yet drawn a line in the sand about what you want. Like, in the conversation with this woman, she was trying to pivot from one particular market into another, but she kind of was riding, two horses with one behind. And she really hadn't drawn a line in the sand that said, this is what I want to do. This is who I am. This is my lane. She wasn't clear about this. This is who I serve. This is who I don't serve. And so whether you're in a career or business, oftentimes you do that as well. You're trying to hedge your bet. So, because if you know exactly who you are and what you want to do and what you want to offer to the marketplace, then you say no to all of the other opportunities that don't fall in line with that, so that you leave room for the perfect yeses. But most of us are not willing to do that. We're not willing to lose or take the risk on losing. And so we end up being really, really unclear about who we are and a little diluted and a little nebulous. And so you don't take a stand. And where there's no certainty about who you are, what you're about, what you're bringing to the market and all of that, then the market's like, a confused buyer will never buy. A confused customer will never make a purchase, whether that customer is a colleague or friend in your network who you're trying to get to make an introduction for you, or whether that customer is a hiring manager, or whether that customer is a legitimate customer in your business. So the first thing you got to do is you've got to draw a line in the sand around what you want, even if you don't know necessarily how to get there. The second is that you may not have yet decided to be confident about what you offer. Here's the deal. Confidence is a decision. It's not a feeling. Now, when we decide enough times to be confident, even when we're scared, even when we're a little unsure, even when we're insecure, then that over time, that confidence will actually manifest itself into feeling confident. But that's not always the case. We have to decide to be confident. We have to decide to communicate confidently. We have to decide to show up with a big promise, because if we don't, the person on the other side sees and feels that. You project it. And so in that conversation with that woman who I believed so much in, I knew that she wasn't confident about what she offered, which meant that if I made an introduction for her, she wouldn't show up confidently. She wouldn't get the yes. She wouldn't get the partnership. And then I would look like umfufu because I have recommended someone who wasn't confident about their offering. The same thing happens in your career. The same thing happens in your business. And then the third piece, and the third reason why people don't help you is because you do not know what to actually ask. We ask these general things when we need to get really, really, really specific about what we want someone to do for us. We need to get really, really specific about the type of contact that would be helpful. We need to get really specific about the type of resource that we need in the moment. If you're in the middle of trying to make a pivot in your career and you need to figure out how to message better, then you need to ask someone, I need some help with someone who can actually give me clarity around what I'm trying to do. I need some help on my resume, or I need some help on how my LinkedIn profile, or I need some help on how I'm actually communicating what it is that I want to do. Like, you need to get really, really clear. I need to speak to someone who has done X. I need to connect to someone who knows why. Like, you got to get real specific and tell people exactly what you want to do. Not this general, if you know anybody who blah, blah, like, not general. You got to get really specific. If you're looking for a specific type of customer, you need to say, this is the type of customer that I want. Or if you're looking for a media opportunity, or I want to be connected to publications that do X. Do you know anybody that writes for Y? Do you know anyone who's ever written for Forbes who could tell me how I could get an article in Forbes? Whatever it is that you're trying to do, get really, really specific about that ask so that people have marching orders for you. Right? So again, when we step back and we look at the results that we get in our lives, because our life is just a series of results, and they're either positive results that we're really excited about, or they're results that we're not so happy about. The results aren't bad. It's just feedback. And so in this case, if you're not getting the kind of support that you want from folks, if you don't feel that people are confidently in your corner, you got to look at those three things we talked about. Have you drawn a line in the sand where you want to play and what lane you're in? 2, have you decided to show up with confidence in what you offer? And then 3, are you being very, very clear about what you need, what you want, and what you're asking people to do for you? So I hope that helps, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.